Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to be doing what is hopefully the final update to a very popular video series titled Man in Shortest Marriage in History After Catching His Wife, Brother, Maid of Honor in a Threesomething After the Wedding. And guys, that story, let me tell you, is definitely, I said weeks ago when I first did the first one, going to be one of the most popular and memorable ones of 2023, and I stand by that thing. You guys have been incredible in the comments section, really helping this guy out, and he is grateful. And the reason I said in the beginning of this video, hopefully the final update, because this guy has been through enough. And let me tell you guys, if you saw both the videos and commented and been helping this guy out, if you thought that he's been through some BS the first couple times around, it ain't over. And this is why I say hopefully it's the final update for him. This is a quick recap. This is all about the guy who was with his girl for 5 years or so. No red flags. Truly thought he found the one, the unicorn, all that. They lived with each other for a few years, and they decided to get married. Also, at the same time, he had this, what he thought was an amazing relationship with his older brother. He looked up to him, he was his idol, he had his back, everything. And his older brother was known as quite the ladies' man, had no problem hooking up with every girl in town. He was a total Chad. They get married, wedding night. He, during the wedding reception, has too much to drink, passes out. He goes upstairs to go to sleep it off for a while, passes out, wedding's over. Wakes up and guess what? His new wife isn't there in the bedroom. He goes around the house looking for her because they were all in his family's house. Heard some interesting noises coming from his brother's bedroom. Figured out his brother's nailing one of the bridesmaids, typical of his brother. Goes around the house, still can't find his wife. Then an awful feeling hits his stomach. He then occurs to him that, where's his wife? He bangs on the door, knocks it down, doesn't knock it down, bangs the door open, and there's his wife, in bed with his brother and the maid of honor. Talk about horrible. He goes in there, beats the crap out of his brother, which he certainly was warranted, and it's a whole crazy scene with the wife, I'm sorry, and whatever. Parents come in, all this stuff, and then his dad whipped the brother's ass. And it led with this whole thing that the parents tried to get him to forgive the brother. It was a drunken thing, blah, blah, blah. He's done. He was done with the brother for life. He's done with the shortest marriage in history, and had nothing to do with the parents because the parents defended the brother and wanted to have him sweep it under the rug like it never happened. And for like 16 years, had nothing to do with his whole family. And it ended, the first part, with finding out that years later they reached out to him. His brother, interesting enough, was pancreatic cancer, I believe, and was dying. Wanted to see him on his deathbed. This guy said, no freaking way. His brother dies, goes to the funeral, and there, lo and behold, is a 16-year-old girl. Guess what? The brother and his ex had a child. She was pregnant. And they wanted him as a final wish to have a relationship with the daughter, and he thought about it, and at the time, I, as well as you guys, said he has no obligation to have a relationship with the girl. He can do whatever he wants. I'd have nothing to do with the family. But he's had all this anger in his heart all these years. And I mean, I'm talking a lot, guys, but I got to build this up here. And I advised him that he has to eventually let it go and forgive his brother and forgive the family. He doesn't have to have a relationship with the family, but forgive them for his own peace. Part 2 comes along where he decided to confront his parents about everything, including his ex. He goes there to confront them and finds out that his ex, it wasn't just a one-night thing with the brother. She claimed they'd been hooking up for 3.5 months before the wedding. 3.5 freaking months. Talk about a piece of garbage with the brother and her. He met his niece, thought she was a really good girl, and he was on the fence about whether he'd have a relationship with her. And by the way, the niece never knew that her mother, who's this guy's ex, was this guy's former, girl. And as you can imagine, the niece, she just lost her father and also found out all this stuff about her mother. So she's pretty messed up. And it ended with him debating whether he's going to have a relationship with her, all that, and et cetera, et cetera. Now we're on to part 3. And again, or the final update, hopefully for him. And let me tell you, what he finds out here, good Lord. He's a religious man, and definitely he needs his faith now. And for you religious folks out there, you're familiar with the story of Job in the Bible. This guy, he's starting to become the modern day Job with the Bible. There's so much bullshit coming his way. So, continues on. He says, hello SSM and community. I previously sent in my story about how my brother and fiance, along with her best friend, cheated on me on our wedding night, and I got what I hope will be the last update in my story. It's not a very long update, but you all know the adage, be careful what you wish for. Well, I wanted to know what was going on between my fiance and brother, so I went to visit my parents a few weeks ago and get some answers from them. If you saw the last video, I was able to finally put most of my anger away. I met and talked with my niece, and I thought the story was over. I was wrong. Well, sadly, these stories are never over. Sadly, there's always more details and BS behind the scenes than people realize at the time. And as the story goes, I always say that the girl always comes back looking for a second chance. He says, I just spent about 2 hours talking with my dad this morning, and he gave me more information that has set my resolve about cutting off my mom forever. My dad is still in the gray area, but we shall see. Oh boy, what could possibly be going on with the mother? Over the last 2 weeks, since my talk with Becca's the ex, and my parents, I've talked to Amanda 3 times on the phone. Amanda's the niece. And we had some nice discussions. She really is a sweet kid. We decided to see how things go, but she understands how angry I am with her mom and agrees with me that Becca doesn't deserve anything from me. I guess after finding out what her mom and my brother did to me, it caused a pretty big strain on their relationship. But I told her I was sorry, but her relationship with her mom wasn't any of my business. Amanda and I have made plans to go to the movies in a couple weeks, and we'll see where it goes. Dude, you are a good man, because a lot of people here in this community, and probably me, won't have anything to do with the girl. Not that it's her fault, but you're a caring, good man. And these a-holes in your lives ruin that relationship. But the silver lining of, if any, of this whole shitstorm could be a great relationship with this young niece, because her parents are awful people. And more awful you're about to see, guys. But if she could actually become a good person out of this, that could be maybe the silver lining. I don't know. But it's not her fault for the pieces of garbage, and I'm being nice in my language here today, that she could be a nice person in spite of her piece of garbage parents. And not to mention your mom, because I know what's about to happen here. Now for the discussion that I had with my dad this morning. After my visit a few weeks ago, my mom tried to call me a few times, but I didn't take any of her calls. She stopped after a few days, so I figured she got the message, and I wasn't ready to talk to her. My dad showed up this morning with coffee and said he needed to talk to me. Reluctantly, I let him in, and he immediately started apologizing for how I was treated by everyone, and he said that he and my mom might be getting a divorce. Whoa, where'd that come from? Your mom and dad have been together for a very long time. I believe you said that you always thought they had a great marriage, but now they're suddenly getting a divorce? I was a little shocked about that since other than treating me like crap, I thought they had a great marriage. I asked him why and found out just how deep the rabbit hole went. I know there were some people in the comment section that didn't believe that Becca and Dan had been only cheating on me for the 3 months leading up to the wedding. Yeah, me included. For those that had that thought, ding, ding, ding. You win a cigar. The real time frame was nearly, wait for it guys, 3.5 years. 3.5 years, your freaking ex-wife and brother, your hero, your idol, were hooking up. You're with her for 5 years. I suspected things were going on longer than the wedding night, and I was right. And I suspected things were going along longer than 3 months that your ex claimed. So once again, this proves that his ex-wife, is a freaking liar, because you all heard the second video. She said it was like 3 months. No, try 3.5 years. They were hooking up behind your back. Talk about awful people. And by the way, your brother is a whole new level, a piece of garbage now. Beck and I have been dating for a little more than a year, the first time they hooked up. How did I find out? After my visit a few weeks prior, my mom was crying that she lost both of her sons and was begging my dad to do something to get me back in their lives, and she let something slip. He told me that she said, I should have had said something when he told me. My dad started asking her what she was talking about, and he's pretty sure that she didn't mean to say that out loud. His questioning was met with denials at first. Shocker. And the conversation turned into a shouting match that ended with my mom admitting that Dan told her about sleeping with Becca a few days after it happened. Your mom found out that your brother was nailing your girlfriend at the time years ago and didn't tell you and didn't tell the dad and let you continue on being with her and marry her. But we're just getting started, guys. She decided to keep it a secret because she didn't want me and Dan angry with each other, and Dan promised it wasn't going to happen again. So she didn't want you guys fighting with each other, which really meant she didn't want her family life, turmoil in her family life. So for her own self-interest, she wanted to keep it quiet. My dad was pissed, but it got worse when my mom admitted that she knew about more than one time over the years, which led to my dad demanding to know everything. So she found out that it didn't stop that one time and it continued on. Shocker. At one point, more than 2 years into their affair, my mom sat them down and told them they had to stop, and they promised they would. It was less than a week later that when she caught them at it again, and she told them that if I ever found out what I would do something terrible. So they better not let me find out. Your mom knew that they were repeatedly hooking up all those years with the same, you better stop doing that. What the fuck? This is your mom. And I gotta say this, and I'm sure some guys have commented on this or think this, given how your mom has all this preferential treatment of your older brother, I seriously gotta wonder if, yes, she's your mom, but do you have the same dad as your brother? No offense. Because your brother walks on water, she treats him like gold, but you are just like the way she treats you. Seriously. You'd have been through enough shit, brother, but I'm sorry to bring that up, but the way she treats you versus the brother, she knew all this time and let you continue to be with that girl. And your brother, and here's the other question here. Your brother could have any girl. You made it clear this dude was a Chad, hooking up with girls left and right, but why did you choose your girl? And why didn't they just get together and be with each other? Seriously. Well, here's the question, because that's rhetorical. Here's why. They both got excited by the cheating and sneaking around. They're pieces of garbage. They got excited by the whole forbidden thing. And also, here's the question, why didn't you just be with your brother instead of be with you? Because no doubt in her mind, she saw you as the safe one, the guy that you could settle down with, that's going to be a good husband, loyal, loving, never suspect anything. Meanwhile, your brother was the bad boy that she could have her fun with. Classic cake and eat it too situation. And nowadays, fast forward in time, they would just simply ask for open relationship. She is a selfish a-hole, but good Lord. And your brother, just for whatever reason, has to nail everyone. We're still, this isn't over yet, guys. Goes on here, says it was after I proposed to Becca that my mom met with her for lunch and told her that she had to stop or she wasn't going to continue to hide the affair. And she said that Becca was swearing that it had been over for a long time. She's lying right to your mom. Well, you know what? They're all liars and deceivers. My dad ended up storming out of the house and stayed at his brother's place for the last week. He's considering filing for a divorce. I don't blame your dad at all. Because if your mom if your mom would have said something when it first happened, I get your mom was, when she first found out, shocked and appalled and all that, but no, she should have told you right away. End of story, let alone tell the husband. But all this time she knew. And here's the question, what else is your mom hiding? Because there's more bullshit. What actions has she done, maybe to your dad? I don't blame your dad. So basically, my mom knew that my brother and my girlfriend were cheating on me for years, and they all treated me like the village idiot. And worse, Becca knew that my mom was aware and talked to her about it multiple times, always promising that it was over and how sorry she was that it wasn't going to happen again. You know how good she was to her word. Your niece, Amanda, 16 years old, this poor girl. Her dad was a piece of shit. Let's be honest. I know some people don't like speaking ill of the dead, but your brother's a piece of shit. Takes it all. It was bad enough that he was hooking up with your wife after the wedding, and then you found out for 3.5 months, and now you find out 3.5 years. Total garbage. The hell with him. He can burn. And the mother's a piece of garbage. And then they had this girl. And your mom is up there with the pieces of garbage. You can be the only hope that this girl can end up being a decent person. I said to you in the last video that, good Lord, this girl could lose it and start going into drugs and alcohol and doing all sorts of awful things if she doesn't have some good guidance. Not that it's your responsibility, but you get my point. It continues, if my mom had said something to me when she found out, I might have kicked Dan's ass, but I would have probably forgiven him after some time. But no. It wasn't enough that he had his run on the ladies in town. He had to have mine as well and do it over a period of years. It's a good thing he's already dead, because if he wasn't, I would have fixed that for him. As for Becca, I will never say another word to that woman, and while I never have entertained the idea of hitting a gal, I swear to everything, holy, that if she ever tries to talk to me, I'll cave. I don't know if I can say this. He'll do something pretty bad. Okay, maybe I won't, but I'll think about it. She's completely dead to me, as is my mom. Bro, I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. And good Lord, if your niece was to find this out... my dad says he understands why I'm so angry with everyone and doesn't blame me if I'll never want to see him again after the way that they had reacted. I guess I wasn't the only one that Mom, Dan, and Becca were lying to. My dad ended up calling Becca's dad and told him everything that they had done and how my mom was hiding the secret the whole time. He was pretty sure that Becca's dad didn't know, but he said he was going to ask his own wife if she was aware. Wouldn't that be something if Becca's dad didn't know about this, but his wife did? That wouldn't surprise me at all. As for my dad goes, I told him that as long as he's with my mom, we would never have a relationship again. But if that changes in the future, I would give him a chance. I told him to tell my mom that she is dead to me, and the next time I visit her will be at her funeral. So that is it. 3 selfish pieces of shit completely destroyed 2 families. I wasn't kidding. This is the modern day Job from the Bible. It's like, what else can happen to this guy? You know, I gotta tell you, man, because I'm addressing the dude that wrote this. You should, whenever there's a big Powerball jackpot lottery ticket, you know, like when the Powerball, the Mega Millions gets ridiculously high, like $1 billion, go buy a ticket. I think if anybody deserves a win, even if you don't win the Powerball, maybe just win $1 million, God forbid, you definitely deserve some good things coming your way. So when those lottery winnings get very big, buy a few tickets. If anybody deserves it, it's you. I'll be looking to see if a Texas guy wins the big one. On the bright side, I don't feel angry, just disappointed. If I can be a positive influence on Amanda's life, I will. She's going to need a good role model, and she isn't responsible for the actions of her mother and father. I agree with that. As for me, I think I'm going to take a vacation in a few months to unwrap all this and get back to living. I haven't been fishing in a while, and there's nothing quite like some saltwater fishing to let it all go. Thank you all for the well wishes and kind words you share with me. The grace you've all given a complete stranger have meant more to me than I could ever express in words, so I'll leave you all with this. He says, thank you. And SSM, for you specifically, you have my eternal gratitude for sharing my story. The advice from you and your community have helped me in ways I can't even begin to measure. I know now that I'm going to be okay, and I'm looking forward to a life without all the anger that's been holding me back. Nothing personal, but I truly hope this is the last email I send to you. Bro, I hope it is the last. Honestly, I hope it is the last bad email you send to me. I hope the next one I get is where you won the lottery, or you have some really great things have come your way. I wasted a large portion of my life over crap that was out of my control, but thanks to you and your viewers, I'm excited to see where my life is going to go. Thank you for the work you do, and if you ever plan on a trip to Northeast Texas, you've got my email, and I've got some of the best barbecue in the world waiting for you. Blessings to you and you as well as your community. Wow. I certainly wasn't expecting that, but holy crap. Well, bro, I gotta tell you, I'm so happy that by doing this video, your videos, and the guys out there that have taken the time out of their busy lives to comment and give you suggestions and tips and give you, support has helped you. I'm really glad to hear that. And again, I started this channel almost 3 years ago, and I was doing it just for the fun of it. Honestly, there were things that bugged me in the world, and I wanted to talk about men's stuff and everything. I felt it was needed. And I never in a million years thought that I'd be doing people's personal stories, and by sharing it with dudes all over the world, it could help guys out. I never thought that. So it's really great to hear. It really makes me feel good to know that. And so, like I said in the other videos, man, take it day by day. You know, you've had so much anger, and it's warranted over these years. I just don't want that to be a poison to you for the rest of your life. I know you're a religious man. I know you explained the story and showed the video to your pastor. I still can't imagine that one. A holy man seeing my videos, but I'm glad he obviously liked me. But he's a Texas man, so that's obviously a little different. If he was a progressive priest or minister, whatever, pastor, whatever you call it, from California or something, then I may have been a different reaction. No offense to the California brothers. I know you're all not woke idiots, but you know what I mean. And take it day by day. That's the best you can do. And find the peace and move on. And I don't blame you at all. It had nothing to do with your mom. I don't blame you at all, because it's just one fucking thing after the other with her. But I do think your niece is the innocent one in the situation, and if you want to have a relationship with her and see where that goes, great. You can be a really good role model, and hopefully you, knowing what you know in your own life experience, what you've learned on this channel, can really help her from not going down the path of her mom and dad, as well as becoming one of these a-holes, and you all know I'm talking about nowadays in our Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world. If he can say one girl from going down the path that so many go down, then that would be wonderful. It really would. And you do it for you, not for your brother, not for your a-hole ex or your mom. You do it for you and this good girl. I really hope that works out. And again, yeah, you need a vacation, man. Go on a vacation, go fishing, get out in nature, get away from everybody, get some peace, figure things out, and go on with your life. And I do recall you said you have things that you like to do. You've got some good friends. And there you go. Your good, loyal friends are your family in the story. And as with your dad, you know, I think your dad really was obviously BS'd by your mom and brother and all that. And, you know, I would give him a chance. See what happens there. And if he divorces your mom, nobody can blame him. And I might add that maybe if you do actually rekindle a relationship with your old man, maybe you ought to show my channel, because I think he could probably use some of the information here. It might help him. Who knows? And you just never know, so don't rule things out. But take it day by day, and I hope to hear from you down the road. Not awful shit, but hearing that you're doing really well. That's what I want to hear. And I guarantee all these guys watching this would love to hear that you're doing well down the road, because there are guys all over the world that have been through a lot of crap. Bad divorces, cheating, all that. And it gives people hope that things could be better by hearing that guys have been through awful situations, was able to be strong, pull themselves out, and are doing well. You wouldn't believe, I get bombarded with emails every day. And I would love to be able to do videos and all the emails. I just can't possibly do. I cannot keep up. But it doesn't mean I don't see them, read them, all that. And people tell me all the time how watching the videos, aside from entertainment and learning some things, it also gives them hope. Hearing that other guys have been through hell gives them the strength to carry on when things seem hopeless and impossible. So all you guys are great sharing your stories already, and I really appreciate that. And you guys commenting away, but by just taking the time to do that, 30 seconds a minute, it makes a big difference. So guys, this could be the last video you hear from this dude, so by all means, comment away. Show him your support, all that. He will certainly appreciate it. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Like I said that already. It's my line at the end. I got to say it's automatic. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.